Tell me about her devolution here. You know, she was at once a Green Party member, yet you mentioned that she was, you know, the first bisexual member of the Senate. How and why has she fallen so far from grace? Who is she now in the pockets of?
Corporate America and the Chamber of Commerce. That's who she's in the pocket of right now. And you can look at that through her votes. Like, you know, she voted to repeal portions of the Dodd-Frank Act, voted for the border wall. She's got very hostile policies when it comes to immigrant rights. She's in the pockets of everybody but the people. And that's unfortunate. She's basically evolved from being, like you said, a Green Party anti-war activist that, you know, planned over. There was a good piece in Mother Jones, I think it was, that really took a deep dive into Sinema and her profile. Like she planned like 15 anti-war activists, ran, did not get elected. Then what I'm taking from that is like she saw that it's not the way to get in was through the Green Party, decided to join the Democratic Party, ride the waves of the early progressive movement in Arizona, say the things that she needs to, use the people that she needs to get into office, which was labor and people of color in Arizona. In her first campaign for Congress, she gets in. Then the evolution started almost immediately, and she started becoming a moderate. And a lot of people say that that has to do with her relationship with Janet Napolitano. Janet Napolitano helped her on her book, Unite and Conquer, which is a terrible book that I am protesting I will not read. But I've taken excerpts from folks. And she's not abiding by her own rules of continuing to have coalitions with organizations. That was one of her bread and butter issues in that book, I guess.
But is she still speaking to people? Like, do, you know, let's say white, conservative, Democratic Arizonans like her? Whereas like, you know, labor and the immigrant rights, and I imagine the growing Latino population of Arizona and young voters are turning on her. Is she still speaking to anyone? And are they on board for her plans to essentially stymie progress by continuing to uphold the filibuster for no real reason whatsoever?
Absolutely not. And this is actually what's amazing about this. And I think this also speaks to like what we've been able to accomplish as progressives within, like operating within the party structure. The Arizona Democratic Party, it's very hard to get a group of folks in a room to actually support a particular issue. Very rarely does something pass unanimously. And we nearly passed all three of our resolutions at the last state committee meeting. And these are folks that represent a wide range of ideology on the left in the Democratic Party. We recently did a poll, and the people that are state committee people, and that's the highest level of elected office inside the Democratic Party structure here. And unfortunately, but it's something we already knew, that, you know, people in these positions tend to be older because they have more free time available, tend to be more wealthier, and they tend to be white. Our survey showed that. But what that shows to me is those are the people that Sinema thinks that she has in her corner. We passed all three of those resolutions damn near unanimously. One of them was passing the For the People Act. Second one was full party support for the PRO Act and ending the filibuster. All three of those passed by strong numbers. And so she's not doing well, and she's not in good graces with anybody in Arizona, but the Trumpers.
I have a naive question, maybe, as a person who doesn't know many things. Excuse me. It seems like her kind of political calculus to me seems very cynical, right? And like you said, she like got hers and is only really looking out for herself and is kind of seems to be catering towards like business interests and that kind of thing. But like, even if you are catering to business interests and kind of like allowed yourself to be in the pocket of corporate money, that doesn't also preclude you from serving your constituents in ways that aren't contradictory to that. So it seems like a lose-lose, right? Like not that I want politicians to be influenced by money, but it just seems like, what is the political calculus of like not also serving her actual constituency?
Right.
That's my big question. Like, even if she's like, well, in these ways I've sold out labor in these fucked up ways, right? But like, maybe I can do this thing that will ameliorate things with you. But it seems like she is truly like spiting the voters at every turn, which feels nonsensical to me. Like, what is that strategy?
Well, I think that's a strategy of corporate America, because if you pass things like the For the People Act, which is huge democracy reform that's going to empower more voters, that challenges the power structures that are in place. And I think that by her doing nothing is pandering to them, and I think it's what they want. They don't want her to pass any sort of legislation. Corporate America does not want the PRO Act passed. What is the statistics of unions and the private sector? I think it's like less than 6%. That's a threat. That's a threat to their money, and that's a threat to the people in power, and they don't want that.
Yeah, and I would just echo what you said earlier about the ways that when election time rolls around in a swing state like Arizona, oh man, the ways that the Democrats bring out we must reelect Sinema because the other choice is, I don't know, Matt Gaetz's long lost half brother who's terrible, and it's like there's a literal lizard running against Sinema, and you're like, well, obviously I will vote for Sinema over the lizard, but honestly, maybe the lizard will be better. Like, so this is what Democrats in swing states always do.
Points.
Yeah, the lizard
I'll tell you who doesn't want climate change. An animal that does not regulate its own blood temperature.
But you know what I'm saying? They just continue to use it against, I think, many voting Democrats who are just like, well, I don't know. I don't want the Republicans. So sure, Sinema again. And obviously that's why it's important to primary her. What are the prospects for doing so? And are y'all on the ground sort of, does it feel like there's someone, whether it's maybe a state legislator who is, coming up through the ranks, or who could mount a good challenge to her?
I think we have a lot of great community leaders that'll step up and have the courage to challenge her. I think it's going to be hard to find people that are elected and currently in office to challenge Sinema, because challenging Sinema also is a very defiant thing to do, because Sinema is known historically in the state of Arizona to having a lot of money behind her, and the influence that comes with Sinema going against her. It could be, it's tough, but there's more and more people that are becoming engaged, and we're finding as our coalition continues to grow and expand, people are, wanting to primary her, and people are finding out that they have support. We have a state legislator that is termed out, which I think would be great, Senator Martin Quezada from Legislative District 29, very outspoken progressive, former Bernie Sanders surrogate as well, and co-chair for the state with me. He'd be a great representative. And I'm sure there's people out there that would be great representatives that I haven't spoken to yet, that are fired up and ready to speak truth to power.
Because Kyrsten Sinema, she was never a congressperson, right? Or was she? Am I getting her background wrong, that she first ran for Congress and won and then moved to the Senate?
Yep, that's how it happened. She was in Congressional District 9, which was a swing district. It's located in Tempe, the eastern portion of Phoenix, and the lower portion of South Scottsdale. Got it.
And I mean, it is a tough battleground, but I think it's such a worthy fight. I guess I also feel like it stung a little bit to see her trotted out by Biden along with Joe Manchin, kind of playing all nice, as if they're not the key to ending the filibuster, those two senators. And then you have Biden being like, these are my homies, along with, other moderates and Romney back there and whatever, and irrelevant people who have no real politics. That felt really obnoxious to me. I don't know how you read that, Brianna, but I was like, why? Why are you rewarding, you're rewarding obstructionists, essentially?
Yeah, I saw that, and I saw Sinema wanting to put herself in the center of all the pictures. people in Arizona know the way that she thinks because we know her. You know, she wanted to be front and center in those pictures for a reason. She wanted to use it for a photo opportunity.
Yeah.
And it's too bad. It's very, she's very me oriented, and it sucks because I want to like Sinema because like we share a lot of the same struggles. Like when she talks about living in a gas station and being poor and LGBTQ, like those are stories that I have too. I didn't live in a gas station, but I lived in my mother's car outside of a Smitty's parking lot for a week and a half in downtown Phoenix. I'm identified as LGBTQ, many of the same struggles. And like, it's just unfortunate because she could be a hero, and she could be like in the history books as somebody that did the right thing. But the fact that she's not, because our political system's fucked up because of money, it's just terrible.
What's going on, Frantifa? If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that button. And also, you can become a patron and support the show every single week. Get access to bonus episodes and exclusive merchandise. Patreon.com/Bitchuation Room. Do it.